right, guys, one of the conversations I want to have today with you is about the 5 mistakes to avoid making when it comes to storage unit flipping. I have an acquaintance that we get glass from for our rage room. He's been buying and flipping storage units for 30, 40 years. Like, we have really good conversations every time, and you know, he knows I flip storage units. We don't buy in the same territory usually. So I was he's like 60, 70 years old, right? So I was having this conversation with him yesterday. I asked him about the 5 things that, 5 mistakes that he wished he would have avoided when it comes down to storage unit flipping. And I'm going to give you those 5 things from a 30, 40 plus year veteran of storage flipping, of the things that he says that he wished he had avoided starting off. So number 1 is he wasn't sure when he started flipping that really about how much time this actually takes. And it's the time consumption from buying the units, sure, but unloading them, getting them sorted. If you have a typical 10 by 15 unit, that can take you hours upon hours upon hours just to sort the trash from the good stuff. And if you're doing it well, you're going through every box, through every item, and making sure that you're finding your money inside of it. But it is significantly more time consuming than you would realize. Number 2 is avoid the mistake of not having a way to offload it, of not having ways to sell it. Typically when he first started, it was a lot of flea markets and yard sales. Now there's eBay and Facebook that he's diving into. But he says that you have to know how you're going to offload and sell certain items, but also if you're selling them on places like eBay, of having, and this is the number 3, of having a way to store it correctly, of keeping your things organized and sorted, and knowing where your stuff is at. So if you get an order, you can find it simply, versus just having an entire garage full of bins and you're like, well, I don't know where this is, and you possibly lose a sale, or you have to go through everything and then re-put it back. So make sure, number 3, you have a great way to organize and ship out stuff and get to it easily if you're going to do that. Number 4, make sure that you have a way to dispose of garbage. And this is something I've talked about before, and I agree with this completely, that when you're first starting, you may not think about the amount of garbage you're going to have to get rid of. So, do you have a local trash point like we have throughout our county? You just go and you can drop off trash. Now there's certain limitations of how much trash you can dump off, unless you're going to the actual dump itself, then obviously it's different. But you have to know how to get rid of the amount of trash you have. Are you gonna have a dumpster on site at your house? Like, we have one at our rage room business anyways, so I typically can throw away a bunch of dumb stuff. Other times, like probably 2-3 times a month, I'm having to pay junk removal to get the junk out of there because I don't want to load it up and go to the dump. Like, it's just not worth my time and energy to do that. So, how are you going to get rid of the junk? And number 5 is, what did he say? So when it comes down to storage unit buying, the process has changed, but the quality of units hasn't changed. And I was like, what does that mean? So basically it was, 30, 40 years ago, you're buying these things with cash. Now, like, I haven't even, like, there's one auction company that does in-person auctions, and that's it that I know of in our area. The rest of them are online, right? So now you have higher fees and stuff. But when he talks about the auction buying process hasn't changed, but the quality, you have to still focus on that, is now you're having to spend more money online, and that's factual. Like, 'cause I can go to in-person auctions and get good size units for less than $50 sometimes, but now these same units online are spending hundreds and hundreds of dollars on. So you have to understand the amount of money you spend has to be worth the quality of the stuff that you're going for. So if you're spending higher money, you need to know and believe that there's going to be higher quality items inside of that. You don't want to spend hundreds of dollars on a junk unit. And again, there's variables. There's some units that you do get that look great, but they are junk. If you watch any of my videos, you see it happen. So these are just some of the things that he discussed with me. I wanted to share it with you guys. If you guys are considering getting into storage unit flipping, just some of the things that a 30, 40 year veteran in this says that you guys should avoid. So Anyways, hopefully that helps, and hopefully you guys got some knowledge.